Touma Kamijou, a level 0 student from Academy City, possesses a unique ability capable of negating psychic, magical, and divine powers while also negating his good fortune. He survives a grudging duel with Mikoto Misaka, a powerful level 5 esper capable of controlling and generating electricity. The following morning, Touma finds a young nun from the Church of England hanging off his balcony. She introduces herself as Index and reveals that she is being pursued by magicians because she possesses 103,000 grimoires. Index attempts to explain the existence of magic, and Touma demonstrates the power of his right hand by touching her magical habit and destroying it. After their meeting, the two part ways. But when Touma returns home from a remedial class, he discovers a bleeding Index on the ground and meets a red-haired magician. The magician introduces himself as Steel Magnus and explains that his partner, Kaori Kanzaki, inadvertently harmed Index by believing that the latter's habit would protect her from attacks. He explains to Touma his mission to retrieve Index because of her photographic memory of the Index Librorum Prohibitorum's 103,000 grimoires. An enraged Touma attacks Steel, who responds with fire magic. The magician is taken aback when he sees him canceling his spell attack, prompting him to summon a fire creature named Innocentius to counterattack. When Touma is unable to defeat the creature, Index activates her self-protection system, Personality John's pen, to reveal to him the runes placed around the building as the source of Innocentius' power. Touma activates sprinklers to erode the runes, extinguishing Innocentius. After defeating Steel, Touma brings Index to his teacher, Kamo Tsukayomi, because the latter is a non-esper who can help treat her wounds with magic without repercussions. Kamo successfully assists Index in her ancient magic ritual to heal her wounds and questions Touma the next morning about her relationship with him. Touma learns from Index about the organization she belonged to called Necessarius and how they implanted the grimoires into her mind to make her a living library for the church because reading the original magical texts will curse and taint people. Meanwhile, Steel and Kaori continue to observe Index from afar, commenting that her happiness will be fleeting. As the two leave for a bathhouse, Touma becomes separated from Index and comes across a girl wielding an adachi, later revealed to be Kaori, on an empty street. Touma refuses to hand over Index to Kaori, who revealed that she is a member of Necessarius and a friend of Touma's. Kaori tells him that she intended not to hurt Index when she attempted to secure her the day before because she is unaware of how her habit rendered her defenseless against her attack. She then explains that Index's brain contains 85% of the entire Index Librorum Prohibitorum, and that the remaining 15% must be erased annually to avoid any strain with any unnecessary memories, giving them 3 days before the limit is reached. She and Steel had tried everything in the past to restore Index's memories, but seeing her smile with each successive failure became unbearable. Touma criticizes Kaori for disregarding Index's feelings and concealing this from her. After being severely injured by Kaori, Touma awakens 3 days later in Kamo's apartment under Index's care. When Steel and Kaori arrive, she tries to protect him by promising to do whatever they ask. Steel and Kaori inform Touma that the spell to erase Index's memories will be cast at precisely midnight. Touma tries to think of another way to save Index, but he is powerless when the magicians arrive to prepare the spell. When Touma is alone with Index to bid him farewell, he becomes suspicious of Kaori's claim about her brain capacity. During a phone call with Kamo, he learns about the human's inability to suffer or die from information overload, and he realizes how the church erased Index's memory to ensure her loyalty to them and duped Steel and Kaori. Touma uses his ability to dispel a magical rune in Index's throat, causing her to activate her John's pen mode. Index casts a spell called Imagine Breaker because he is unable to analyze and devise a countermeasure to the Imagine Breaker the Namesent. George's refuge as a viable method of eliminating Touma. Touma awakens Steele and Kaori to the fact that Necessarius lied to them about Index's condition, and that the room responsible for her suffering must be destroyed in order for her to live a normal life. He manages to deactivate Sand. With the assistance of the magicians, Index is saved by George's sanctuary, but he is rendered unconscious when a feather from the spell touches his head. Index learns at the hospital that Necessarius has decided to leave her alone for the time being because Steele and Kaori are currently questioning the church and Touma's brain cells have been destroyed, resulting in his memory loss. Touma is initially unable to recognize her, but dismisses it as a joke and explains that he canceled the spell using his right hand's ability, now known as Imagine Breaker. Following Index's departure, Touma confirms that he has lost his memories and avoids burdening her with his condition. 2 weeks later, Steele meets Aleister Crowley, the ruler of Academy City, and in order to maintain the status quo of non-interference between science and magic, the latter lends Touma to him for an assignment to rescue Deep Blood from a magician in the city. Touma continues to conceal his memory loss and inadvertently offends Index when he meets with his two friends, Madoharu Tsuchimikado and Aogami Pierce, who both inadvertently insult her. They went to a fast food restaurant where Index got into a fight with a girl dressed in Miko who introduced herself as a magician. The girl flees before Index learns about the magical organization to which she belonged. Index discovers an abandoned cat on the way home and names it Sphinx. She then pursues it and runs into Steele, who mentions that Touma is needed to save Deep Blood named Asa Hingami from Aureolus Izzard, an alchemist who leads a secret science-worshipping cult at the Misawag Cram School. Touma refuses to assist, prompting Steele to threaten him with Necessarius taking Index away. When they arrive at the Cram School, Touma is surprised to discover that Deep Blood is the girl he met earlier, and he discovers a corpse in a suit of armor. Steele explains that the dead knight was a member of the 13 Knights of the Roman Catholic Church, and that a magical barrier is keeping all magical occurrences inside Misawag Cram's school hidden from the public. When mind-controlled students cast an imitation of the Gregorian choir spell against him and Touma, they are forced to separate. Steele later locates Aureolus, while Touma encounters Asa, who reveals that she approached Aureolus because he agreed to assist her in curing her power, which had caused people to turn into vampires if she used her blood to lure them. Asa then confronts Aureolus about his goals, threatening to leave him if he continues to murder people. Aureolus, on the other hand, seals Touma and Steele's memories, causing the two to awaken outside the school with no recollection of their mission until Touma uses his Imagine Breaker to break the spell. In the meantime, Index has followed Steele's mana trail to the school and is apprehended by Aureolus. The remaining knights attack the school with a true Gregorian choir, but it is saved by Aureolus' true power, Ars Magna. Touma discovers Sphinx outside with Index's habit and realizes she has entered the school. Touma and Steele discover Aureolus, Asa, and an unconscious Index in his office. Aureolus was Index's partner 3 years ago and was devastated by the need to erase her memories every year. He intends to use Ars Magna, as well as Asa's power, to transform Index into a vampire in order to outlive her 1-year life expectancy. However, when Aureolus discovers Touma has already saved Index by using his ability, he becomes enraged and decides to use his power against Touma, Steele, and Asa. He discovers that his reality-altering magic is ineffective against the Imagine Breaker. When Touma realizes Ars Magna is incapable of altering reality, he manipulates him into fearing him, resulting in his severed right arm transforming into a dragon and Aureolus passing out from fright. Touma is taken to the hospital after the battle to have his right arm reattached. Steele pays him a visit and informs him that Aureolus has lost his memories and power. He vanishes when Index and Asa pay him a visit, with Index revealing that the church has taken Asa under their protection. Asa smiles after learning Touma's motivation for saving her life. A girl dressed in military goggles, resembling Mikoto, uses a sniper rifle to shoot a teenager named Accelerator, only for the shots to be reflected and her to end up face to face with him. Mikoto and Touma run into each other at a vending machine, and they are caught off guard by her kohai, Kuroko Shirai. After Kuroko teleported away, the two come across another girl who looks exactly like Mikoto and introduces herself as her younger sister, Misaka. Despite Misaka's protests, a frustrated Mikoto leads her away, though Misaka later approaches Touma and assists him in carrying tin cans. The next day, Touma, Madoharu, and Aogami learn that Mikoto worked her way up from level 1 to level 5 to become the third most powerful esper in Academy City. While Mikoto later expresses her dislike for Tree Diagram, a powerful supercomputer launched on a space satellite to monitor the city. Touma later meets Misaka, who wants to care for the abandoned black cat she discovered. Misaka detects Accelerator nearby as Touma leaves her to look for cat books, and a fight ensues in a back alley. Misaka is killed by Accelerator, who has the ability to manipulate vectors. Touma discovers her dead body in a dark alley and contacts the city's police force, Anti-Skill, but the body is missing. A perplexed Touma searches the alley further, relieved to see Misaka alive, but horrified to see her carrying a body bag containing the corpse he had seen earlier. Dozens of identical girls appear and reveal themselves to be Mikoto clones, introducing themselves as sisters, with the one carrying the body bag introducing herself as Misaka 10032. Touma goes to Mikoto's dormitory to find out what's going on. However, he is forced to hide under Mikoto's bed when the Takiwadai dorm supervisor comes by for an inspection and ends up waiting with Kuroko, who turns out to be Mikoto's roommate. Touma discovers a report on Tree Diagram's calculated methods for transforming Accelerator, the most powerful level 5 esper in Academy City, into a level 6 esper by fighting the sisters at special battlefields to gain combat experience. He realizes the truth and goes to confront Mikoto. Kamo demonstrates extrasensory perception to Index and Asa using Schrodinger's theory. Mikoto had previously attracted a group of doctors who suggested her ability could help people with muscular dystrophy, only to learn later that her DNA was being used to create clones for military use, and she was horrified to see how her sisters were used to fight Accelerator. Mikoto is confronted by Touma about the experiment in which 20,000 clones of herself would be used to fight Accelerator in specific locations in order to advance him to level 6. Mikoto feels helpless because she can't stop the experiment because new research centers will be built after each one she destroys. She believes that sacrificing herself is the best way to save the sisters because the researchers no longer have the tree diagram to recalculate the values for the experiment. A frustrated Mikoto electrifies him several times as Touma tries to talk herself out of considering death as her only option. Touma manages to get up each time, eventually bringing Mikoto to tears. He passes out while trying to come up with ways to end the experiment. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one.